Is it the Chicago Bears' turn to own the Green Bay Packers? Could Ryan Poles actually land us the next Aaron Rodgers? It's time for a new era in Chicago, the Caleb Williams era, a guy I compared to Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, and Kyler Murray. His arm talent has scouts raving. He's graded out as a better prospect by a lot of scouts than any QB to come out in the last 3 years. He's the best prospect since Trevor Lawrence, and Ryan Poles has finally put together a team that will give him an opportunity to succeed even as early as his rookie season. Ryan Poles is putting together a playoff caliber roster. He assembled a star-studded coaching staff and just traded for a 6-time Pro Bowl receiver to pair with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. But as Bears fans, I think too many people were emotionally attached to Justin Fields and haven't quite realized the opportunity at hand here. The Bears have a chance to add a guy with the potential to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, a guy with a ton of similarities to the Bears' most recent nemesis, Aaron Rodgers. We watched for 18 long years as Rodgers owned the Chicago Bears. We never had an answer for him. 18 years. And that was after they had Brett Favre before that. Now we have a chance to get a quarterback of that caliber, a guy who hopefully could own the Packers for the next 10 years or longer. This is a special opportunity and a special quarterback prospect. There's a reason I called this the biggest decision in Chicago Bears history. I don't think it's fair to compare him to Patrick Mahomes or put those kind of expectations on him, but he can definitely make Mahomes-esque style of plays. His style of game resembles a more athletic Aaron Rodgers. And for the first time in my life, we can draft a young quarterback and put him in a position where he can actually develop. That is the biggest thing we have failed with past quarterbacks, including Justin Fields. It's ridiculous hearing so many people just say that he was awful, when as an organization, we have failed to develop our quarterbacks. We cannot do the same thing with Caleb Williams. So far, Ryan Poles seems to be doing a great job of understanding that. He brought in Shane Waldron, Kerry Joseph, and a really talented cast of offensive coaches to help develop whatever quarterback we draft. And then he's went out on a mission to bring in more talent on the offensive line, add more weapons on offense, and shore up the defense. The Keenan Allen trade was huge. It will give Caleb Williams the best wide receiver duo that the Bears have had since Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey. Hopefully, Poles also drafts another receiver as well, making this an even better group. And then you have DeAndre Swift, who I think is the most explosive running back we've had since Matt Forte. On top of that, we have 2 solid tight ends, and Kevin Byard should give us one of the better secondaries in the league. This is a team that is built to win football games. I don't know if anyone really expects us to be Super Bowl contenders, but with an easy schedule, and if Ryan Poles can make a couple more nice moves, I think fans could realistically expect a playoff team this year. I don't want anyone to put it all on Caleb Williams, though. Just like we shouldn't have put it all on Justin Fields before. Hopefully we can get better offensive line play, and hopefully Shane Waldron lives up to the hype and can deliver as a play caller. If things go the right way, and I'm going to knock on wood here, it could finally be our time to own the Packers and take the NFC North. I'm pretty confident that Caleb Williams is going to be the pick at number 1. I think trading Justin Fields, if you were going to trade down and draft another quarterback, it just doesn't make as much sense to me. Caleb Williams is my number 1 quarterback in this class. I think he's in a tier of his own, ahead of Jaden Daniels, Drake May, and J.J. McCarthy. I believe that Ryan Poles will draft him number 1 overall. One of my favorite things about his game, and the biggest difference between him and Justin Fields, is what they do in the pocket. Both guys can make defenders miss. The difference is what they would do afterwards. Justin Fields made some of the most magnificent plays with his legs that I've ever seen from a Bears quarterback in my life. But usually when he made those plays, he would do just that, make them with his legs. I do believe he was getting better and improving at keeping his eyes downfield when he scrambled and making plays with his arm, but Caleb excels in that area. It's an Aaron Rodgers-like ability that we've seen all too often as Bears fans. We'll have defenders right there, about to sack him, but Rodgers would just make a little move and then be able to sling the ball 30 to 40 yards downfield. We saw it for 18 years. Caleb Williams does that all the time. And if that doesn't excite you as a Bears fan, I don't know what will. But Caleb will have to learn how to take snaps under center in the NFL and adjust to a new offensive scheme and the speed of the league. But there's nothing that I've seen that suggests he can't do it, especially if Ryan Poles continues putting the pieces around him and putting him in a position to succeed. If that happens, it really could be a new era of football in Chicago, where we own the Packers this time, and we take the NFC North. I heard a lot of people say, well, Fields couldn't beat the Packers. Like, that hasn't been a problem way before Justin Fields. In the last 30 games against the Packers, the Bears have won 4 of them. They are 4-26 in their last 30 games against the Packers. 4 wins, 26 losses. The rivalry has become somewhat of a joke, and it's time for the Bears to do something about that. I've said all along that I trust Ryan Poles, and I believe that Ryan Poles has now identified Caleb Williams as his guy and the guy to lead the new era of Chicago Bears football. Hopefully, we can get it right this time. The bottom line here is that we've been looking for a franchise quarterback my entire lifetime. When we drafted Justin Fields, I thought we finally had that guy. The most unexpected part of this offseason might be moving on from Justin Fields' potential while realizing the franchise failed him, but also the future of this franchise is still so bright. The most important part is to realize that things are different in Chicago now. Ryan Poles is building a legit playoff contending roster and an environment to support and develop a quarterback now. Having multiple weapons on offense, paired with a top 10 defense, and an accomplished and successful NFL play caller in Shane Waldron, as well as other well-respected coaches on the staff to aid with Caleb's development. It's time to do things differently in Chicago. We remember the mistakes made with Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields. It's imperative that Ryan Poles gets it right this time. I think the plan isn't going to follow the Patrick Mahomes timeline, though. We don't have an Alex Smith on the roster, and I think the plan is to put Caleb in the best position possible, starting from day one. The Bears already offer a unique position for a number 1 pick. We won 7 games last year, and we could have won 10 easily if the defense didn't blow 3 fourth-quarter leads. But we're picking number 1 not because of what we did, but because of how bad the Panthers were. And that already offers a unique position. But then you add in Keenan Allen, Kevin Byard, DeAndre Swift, and more, and we're in a much better position than most teams that ever pick number 1 overall. Ryan Poles has been aggressive this offseason to improve the situation even more. I think one of the biggest mistakes Justin Fields' rookie season was not getting him ready to play. He didn't build any chemistry in training camp with the starters, and then they still threw him into the fire. So I like the CJ Stroud approach better here, of just getting Caleb Williams ready and giving him as much help as possible. If Ryan Poles plays his cards right, I think the Bears are in position to turn things around and start winning football games. This could be a perennial playoff contender. It's a new day in the NFC North. Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, and Justin Fields are gone. Jared Goff and Jordan Love are the best QBs in the division right now, and it's time for a new era of football in the NFC North, with the Chicago Bears and Minnesota Vikings both likely going in new directions with rookie quarterbacks this year. Stay tuned, guys. It's about to get interesting. Remember to hit that like button for me, and until next time, bear down.